So actual weight of the Carolina is really, really important. I'm gonna tell you guys something right here you probably never heard before about weight. So if you take a 1 ounce weight and you drop it in the water, you know, not having you guys in the studio, I can't say, do you guys have a guess what the actual weight size is? You take a 1 ounce and you drop it in the water, it actually weighs 0.66. That's what it weighs. So basically around like 9/16 or 5/8. So you think about that. So all this time you're probably throwing a 3/8. You know, you're a lot lower on weight than you think you are. So a lot of times in my Carolina rig, traditional Carolina rig style, the lowest I will ever go is 3/4, and the highest I usually go is 2 ounces. I know that sounds extreme, but like I just said, when you drop that weight down into the water, you're losing a lot of that actual weight of the weight. If that makes sense. Now, two things with the weight. Two styles. You've all heard back in the day, everybody always threw brass, and there's a reason for that. And there's also a reason for throwing tungsten right now too. So the brass, the reason people threw brass all them years, and the reason I still throw brass today, is because brass makes a tremendous amount of noise. You would think tungsten's a lot, you know, harder, a lot louder. It's actually the opposite. Tungsten's very, very quiet when it's knocking against a glass bead, where it's not that it's very quiet, but it's a lot quieter. I actually made two examples up for you guys. I don't know how the audio is going to be, but when I tap a tungsten versus a glass bead, it's really not that loud at all. Now, if I grab myself up a brass one versus a tungsten, you can hear it clacks a lot harder on a brass bead. So that being said, there's times when brass versus tungsten makes a giant difference solely because of the noise. If I'm really trying to get fish that I'm trying to attract, obviously that's when I'm going to throw a brass. Now on the other side of the scale, why is tungsten so important on a Carolina rig? And being a northern guy, where I do a ton of dragging, which means, you know, I have the rig out there and I have the rig bumping across the bottom. When you go to a brass weight, you actually lose a lot of sensitivity. So that being said, that's when you want to go to a tungsten weight, because that tungsten weight, when you're doing the dragging, when you throw it on brass, it almost feels like boom, boom. It's like just a prolong. You're missing a lot of the stuff you're feeling, which being said, you're going to miss a lot of the bites. On a Carolina rig, if you're doing traditional dragging, a lot of them fish will trail it, bite it, suck it in, and if they don't, they feel something different, they'll spit it out. So if you're not throwing that rig on tungsten, you're actually going to miss that bite a lot of times. So that's why there's a big difference as far as the weights go, as far as the actual tungsten versus the brass. That is pretty much how I choose, for the most part, what I'm going to throw. If I have to have sensitivity, I'm going for tungsten. If I have to have noise, I'm going for brass. Unless I'm in a really high current situation, like I said, I'm always going to throw the tungsten. JK just walked over and goes, "What's this?" I actually made a rig up for the St. Lawrence especially, or places where it's super gnarly, big rock piles, stuff where I'm going to get a traditional Carolina rig stuck. I got a box sitting here. So if you're a true Carolina rig guy, you probably have one of these boxes. So what this box basically is, if I'm in a tournament, whether it's at home, down south, or if I'm up north, these are my pre-rigs. If I know through the course of the day that I'm fishing some gnarly stuff, I'm going to be doing a lot of retying. Time is everything on the water. In this box is a bunch of Ziplocs that already I have measured out pre-rigs where, you know, hook size, this is a 4/0, I got it labeled 4/0. I already have my leader length already picked out, got the swivel in there. As all I got to do is cut that one off and just tie that one on. It will save you like 3 or 4 minutes per retie, which is a ton of time when you're retying. There's been days on the St. Lawrence where I've retied 20 times. So if you had 3 or 4 minutes up times 20, that's a lot of time you're going to waste if you're not going to do these. Pre-rigs are very, very important for Carolina rig guys.
Bass U, folks. Information is pouring over. If you want to learn more about every lake, how to fish shallow, deep, in between, skipping docks and rocks and cranking, slow wiggling, chatter, smattering, you get it at Bass U. Get on Bass U TV, check it out, sign up, be a member, be part of it, folks. Keep learning.